Mag-ano ka ulit, add image ka. Kasi, yan. Yun. Yan, lagay mo doon sa may...
Wala akong planong magpasikat o ano. Talagang totoong tulong to sa bayan natin.
Yan. Para at least maliitan pa kayo. Maganda ba sa taas o sa baba? Yan. Transition.
Pero yung ginawa natin, kamukha nung Skyway extension to Susana Heights, going south, going north from Buendia to Balintawak. Kung dati ka tiga Cavite, dati ka tiga Las Piñas, Parañaque, pare, ilang minuto na nang nasa EDSA ka na agad. I think it has eased the traffic in major cities in Metro Manila. So in short, in mga infrastructure tiniyo natin, nakatulong talaga sa bayan yan. Kaya ako nilalagay sa Facebook, para yung mga ibang negosyante mainggit sa akin at kumopya, gawin din itong mga to. Sana tularan kami na gumastos na rin lahat ng businessman. Mas mayayaman pa sa amin mga yun. So, ako naman pagpapatuloy ko kung anong pwede ko i-contribute sa bayan natin. Kailangan tumulong na sila sa mga kababayan natin dahil yung mga kababayan natin today namamatay. Their people are dying.
Ano ko lang title niya?
So, nakabuti ba tayo? Nakatulong ba tayo sa infrastructure ng Pilipinas? Only other people can say yes or no.
Copy na lang. Tapos,
edit natin yun. Kasi lalagyan ko lang sa live stream. Edit mo ba ba, di ba?
Inspired? Add to cart to Lazada 6-6. Fast and free shipping with 6 times stackable discounts. Lazada Mid-Year Mega Sales, June 6 to 8.
From news and views, issues, and what they think. I'm Rico Hizon, inviting you to join this premiere episode of The Exchange because your business is our business. Top stories for The Exchange: no end in sight to the lockdown, and economic activity in the country is at a near standstill. Amid these setbacks, how do we make a comeback? Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Carl Chua joins us on the program. In the face of business shutdowns and job losses, we'll speak to House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Joey Salceda on what should be the priorities of the new regular session of Congress to jumpstart the economy amid this health crisis. And we'll sit down with a business tycoon who recently said he'd choose life over money. But more than these powerful words from San Miguel's big boss Rmon S, we take a closer look at his actions and his vision.
The abrupt and widespread stoppage in business activity worldwide posed a gloomy outlook in the country's economy. The Philippines is going down in history as having carried out one of the world's longest coronavirus lockdowns. With restrictions stretching for 4 months and going 5, our economy will be among the worst hit in Asia. The International Monetary Fund, in fact, has a nickname for the ongoing period of pause, describing it as the Great Lockdown, thus crippling economies across the globe. While various parts of the world have begun reopening borders, the year began weak and a recession appears inevitable since the numbers further worsened in April to June. Luzon contributes 3/4 to the nation's wealth because of quarantine restrictions since March. All global multilateral institutions project a contraction for the Philippine economy as deep as 3.8%. And this is even assuming that the lockdown will be lifted this month. But most key cities are nowhere close to ending the quarantine just yet. And the impact has hit close to home. Here's the breakdown. 7.3 million Filipinos were out of work in April, but there could be more. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello expects up to 5 million more people losing their jobs the rest of the year. Industries affected include airline and hospitality, the film industry, and even the mom-and-pop stores. From January to June, Labor Department data show over 3,000 businesses have shut down. Industries that managed to survive had to deal with tighter workplace safety and hygiene practices and additional cost. To save the economy, the World Bank has this advice. Prioritize welfare spending like cash transfers and support for small businesses. The administration is ready with a stimulus package, but it hardly gained much headway in Congress. The jobless and bankrupt businesses, or those heading that way, have to wait until session resumes on the day of SONA for help to come at the 11th hour. Lois Calderon, CNN Philippines.
So how does the government plan to reboot economic activity amid this ongoing pandemic? What measures are in place to help small businesses and workers get back on track pending these stimulus initiatives? Let's have an exchange now with Acting Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Carl Chuar. He joins us on the exchange. Thanks so much for joining us, Secretary Chua. The economy is in a slump. What are the plans of the government to jumpstart the economy, save jobs, and create jobs?
Well, Rico, first of all, good evening to you and our viewers. First of all, the government has actually prepared a lot of resources already for the first stage of our enhanced community quarantine. And as of the middle of the year, we have actually released some 400 or 375 billion peso actually for key programs of the government to support the healthcare sector, to support wage subsidies for small business employees, and also the social amelioration program. So we are now working with Congress, and hopefully in the coming 2 weeks when they return, they will be able to pass the second package of the recovery program.
Indeed, Secretary Chua, there needs to be a reinforcement on the fiscal side because the central bank has already aggressively cut interest rates. Why are we seeing a delay in this economic stimulus measures that were meant to jumpstart the economy, save jobs, and strengthen the country's health system?
Well, we had I think almost 2
Pwede ba
months
mag-create?
since the
Ito po yung
last
title po.
Congress
Ano naman
session. So we actually used the break to continue working with Congress, and the two houses of Congress are discussing how to reconcile their various versions.
Tanggalin mo yung
So just to give you an idea, once Congress resumes, we expect them to prioritize the passage of the recovery program. There will be basically three major
yung show,
components. The
tanggalin mo
first
rin.
one is a fiscal support to allow us to help more of the affected sectors and workers. The second is a support to the financial sector so that we can get them to help even more micro, small, and medium enterprises through low interest loans and credit guarantees. The third one is basically to allow the financial sector to dispose their bad debts and assets so that they can free up more capital to even help more people. So that is what is in store immediately once Congress resumes.
And let's take a look particularly, Secretary Chua, at this corporate recovery and tax
Sabagay,
incentives
nasa-
for enterprises
ano naman,
act, which is
channel.
meant to help micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises who suffered most during this ongoing pandemic. How much would be given to MSMEs and how much to large corporations?
Sa stream. Na tayo.
Well, didn't catch the last few seconds, but if you're referring to the CREATE or the tax incentives reform, basically this is part of our response. So apart from the fiscal and financial stimulus, we are proposing to provide everyone a 25% income tax rate so that they can use this as part of their means to recover. We are also proposing that we have more targeted and performance-based incentives so we can attract the right type of investment from abroad and bring more jobs here. So all of these are part of a bigger package of recovery program, and this is not something that we just invented. We actually fielded surveys since